Hello, my name is Jeremy Helgevold. This is my video submission for GPE104 final project. All the art that I used in this project I got from opengameart.org, and all the sound and music I got from freesound.org. So my submission for the final project is a platformer, and it's an expansion on my Project 4 platformer. I went out and got an entirely new graphic package, new music, sound effects for everything, and put that all together. The game starts out main menu with play, credits, and a quit option. Right now I have a controller plugged in, Xbox One controller, so I can control everything with that. There's character select at the bottom, which lets you pick one of 3 playable characters. So I'll pick the middle guy here. And you start at level 1. You can see there are sound effects for collecting items, jumping. You have double jump enabled by default. There are enemies that patrol around. There's background music, as you can hear. You can jump on top of enemies to kill them. Some enemies. The camera follows the player directly if they're close enough, but if the camera moves too far away, it lerps back just to make it smoother. There's a variety of different enemies, coin collects. There's hidden areas, extra lives like I just collected. As you can see, some ground you can't. I died. As you can see, some ground you can't jump through, whereas others you can. So the blocks you can jump up from below. You cannot jump up from below, but the ones that aren't blocks you can jump up from below to get. This is the first level. The exit is up here. When you reach the exit, it switches to the next scene, which is now a snow level. Same carries over. Blocks you can jump through. Like this guy you can't kill, but you can jump on top of him for a little boost. So it's 2 different types of enemies. There's spikes. I made the second level a little more vertical, just to be different. Obviously you can see there's checkpoints, so if I die again, I'll return to that checkpoint. For example, if I hit the sad guy, I'll die, and then the camera will lerp back. If I keep going, oops. If I can keep going, I tried to make the levels long enough to enjoy to play, but not too long where it's just repetitive. And tried to keep the environment interesting with the different options from the graphical package that I downloaded. I created this little castle, so this will be the exit of level 2 into the final level, which is level 3, which is this lava castle, which I had actually a lot of fun building. Grabbing this extra life over here just so I don't lose the game on my submission video. So I really enjoyed finding the sound files for the game. I thought this sound fit the castle well. I've also set it up so that even if you walk off an edge, you can still jump. You can get both of your jumps. Got a checkpoint. This is the last little gauntlet before the end of the castle level up there, and the end of the game. So you get to collect all these coins. As you can see, the tallies up in the upper left for coins, upper right is the current number of lives you have, and then you reach the end, which is a big pile of money and jewels, and you jump in, and you've won. So I have each scene or level has an option to pause it, which will let you resume or exit. This game over or you win screen lets you go to the credits scene, which is just this. I can return to the main menu or exit. Obviously exit only works if it's standalone application. So if I go back to main menu, hit play, I'll select the green guy this time, hit pause, the start button, and you can see it's paused. You can't move, everything's stopped from moving, even your character. You can go to exit, main menu, or resume. So I'll go back to main menu. That's pretty much the gist of the game as far as gameplay goes. And so now I'll step into the rubric to show the specifics. All right, the first item is sprite import and display. Yeah, as you can see, everything is a sprite and they have been imported and play. The second item is get key down or get button down. So I use this in one place. It's sort of a debugger, level skipped, so I can step through the levels more easily, and that's in my level manager. And the update function, I just look for the P key, which is what I chose to just go level to level, so I can get through it quickly. The next item is game object.setActive. So all of my UI in the gameplay is controlled by enabling and disabling the parent game object. So my finite state machine for gameplay right here, in active, I set the pause menu to false, but if it's paused, I set the pause menu to true, and that happens at various points in the code. The next item is movement speed, public, and inspector. Okay, so yeah, the player prefab for each of the players allows you to set the pawn speed, the jump force, how long it takes to, how big of a force they get when they die, and how long it takes to die. All right, next item is application.quit. So yeah, all the menu buttons go back to the level manager. They call the exit function, which is right here, which uses application.quit. Next item is game manager singleton. So my game manager in this game is relatively small. It just has layers, some physics ignores a few variables that need to be retained across levels, but it sets a reference to itself as a static version, and if it's null, we assign it, otherwise we destroy it. All right, next object is use of on trigger enter 2D. So any collectible has this. Each player has a collector, a collider on it that is on the collector layer, and if this collectible object sees that it has been entered by that, it will update the proper score and then destroy itself. Next item is use of random.range. So I have a rotate helper script that just rotates the game object that it's put on, and it chooses a random rate of rotation. Okay, next item is destroy on collision. Yep, so the collectible, whenever they're destroyed, they tell the level manager to update the proper score, and then they destroy themselves. Next item is use of instantiate. Okay, so the level manager, when the player dies, it actually destroys the current pawn and instantiates a new one at the checkpoint or the starting point. So that's done here, depending on what player has been selected in the game manager. Next item is canvas screen space. All of my UI is in screen space. As you can see, the canvas here is in screen space. If I go into like level 1 and look at the UI, the gameplay is in screen space. The game paused is in screen space. Next item is controller parent class. So I have a controller parent class, which is an abstract class, and both the player and enemy controllers inherit from that. All right, next item is AI finite state machine. So my enemy controller is a finite state machine that has two states, idle and patrol. So my enemies will go back and forth. Well, they'll patrol between any number of patrol points, and at each patrol point they have an option to pause for a random amount of time. And while they're in that state, they pause, and then they set the state back to patrol. And if they're in patrol and reach one of those points, they set the state to idle and wait for the amount of time they decide on. The next item is pawn parent class. So all of the controllers control pawns, and I have a base pawn class, which is a abstract class, and both the player and enemy characters you see in game are pawns. So the player pawn has extends from pawn, inherits from pawn, and the enemy pawn does the same, it inherits from pawn. Next item is AI controller, player controller. Yep, so my player controller, very simple, just has a few input controls, is a controller, and the enemy controller with the AI, the state machine, is also a controller. Next item is player moves right and left. So yes, you saw that when I play the game, the player moves right and left. Next item is player affected by gravity. So if you jump, gravity pulls you back down. If you walk off an edge, gravity pulls you down. So yeah, that's it. The next item is music. Yep, so as you can tell, I have music playing here. I have a separate track for the second level. And I have a separate track for the final level. And I have a scene, a game over scene. Let me just lose my lives real quick. And I have a game over scene, and there's a somber music there. If I go back to main menu and go to credits, there's a music for credits. All right. Next item is start screen, victory screen, fail screen. Yep, so this is the main menu, the start screen. You pick a character, you hit play. There's the pause screen, as I've seen. There's the just die again. The fail screen, the game over, as we just saw. And then if I go in here and just accelerate to the last level, and I can grab my player real quick so I don't have to play through it. Just take him up here, and then when I run into there's my victory. All right, the next item is sounds on player death, player hit, enemy death, item pickup. So yeah, you probably already heard them, but if I go in, there's coins that play a sound. There's sound when I jump, a sound when I jump on top of an enemy, right here, when it dies. There's a sound when I die. And that's it. Next item is bug error free. Yeah, so as I'm playing, I'm just keeping an eye out on the console. Making sure there's no errors when I do all the mechanics of jumping, killing enemies, collecting collectibles, hitting checkpoints, jumping through layers. Camera follows smoothly, and level transitions. There's no errors. Next item is comments. Okay, yeah, all my code is commented. The big files are the enemy controller with the AI, the level manager with its state machine, main menu manager has a bunch where it sets the game up for play, but all of my files have everything commented as to what it does, and in most cases why it's doing what it's doing. Yeah. And the last item is project organization. Yep, so I have in my project, it's split up into animations between all the enemies and players. The art sprites, which is split up to enemies, environment, has further sections. HUD has sections for the UI elements, and players themselves with all their static and animated sprites. I have one physics material so players don't get stuck on walls. And all the prefabs where I can just drag and drop and build the levels are separated by what they are, the types, to make it easier to find what I need. The scenes, just one folder for those. Scripts, I have split up to kind of what they do to make it easier to find the right script. And sounds are also split up by what they are, if they're menu sounds or gameplay or if they're music. That's the last item on the rubric, so that'll end this video. Thanks for watching.